Hello, everybody. Lake Station Community Advocate and Educator here, back again. Got something for you today. This is going to be a little bit different. So I hope you come prepared. I hope you have some listening ears and some pencil and paper, and I hope you're ready to learn. Take some notes and pay very close attention to what I'm about to show you, and we'll go from there. Cronyism. So cronyism, it is a specific form of in-group favoritism. Basically, it's your way of thinking better match what I deem as acceptable. Otherwise, you're out. It is a dictative, totalitarian form of leadership. In group, and you guys can look this stuff up, take some notes. It's in group favoritism in politics specifically, and in our town, we know that this is true. This has happened for many years, but it's been the worst in the past 5. And I call a lot of the cronyism out because our leaders shouldn't be owning businesses in the same town and getting the business in town. And the businesses that get cycled through their hands and through the same circle and the same hands feeding each other. It just shouldn't be happening, right? And the second thing why that should not be happening is because other businesses work very hard to have their license and to put money out to come in and do business. And if a resident wants to have a company come in and do business, they should be allowed. However, that doesn't happen. It's a pay-to-play cronyism politic in our town, and I call it out. But this is what I receive. So this sorry fake profile decided to take a logo from a legit organization and to change it for themselves and to try to say that I'm in love with them so much. I'm not in love with them so much. Quite frankly, cronies take each other down, and it's just a matter of time. And unfortunately, it's gotten to the point where it's actually starting to bother and affect them, and they can't stop it. And it's a good thing because the community's changing in a way that it should have many years ago. And it's starting to kind of bother them that somebody as simple as I am changing a dynamic within a community to educate and to advocate for better things for our residents and our community. But right now, I want to show you some comments of some things that have happened within our community coming from residents. I want to show you these things. Now, this specifically, this is a resident who just simply says he wants a garage. He pays his taxes, he pays for permit, he's paying for the contractors. There was concrete they were ready to pour, but they didn't do an inspection. But the business down the road had no problem. They got green tags instantly, but for some reason homeowners they don't get the help. And now he has a large hole in his backyard. He doesn't know what to do, and they're not willing to work with him. Quite frankly, this needs to change. This is another reason. This is a very crystal clear reason why I advocate and why I call out the cronyism within our town, because this is a very prime example. Shoot, I didn't know I didn't know that we weren't allowed to ignore 911 calls. No, actually, you're not. You're not allowed to ignore those calls because when 911 is called, it is your duty. It is your sworn duty to serve the public. You don't have a choice in the matter. I'm glad I get to learn from you about our job. Tell me more. Well, here, let me help you. This is called a SAFER grant. There's a reason for this specifically. This is exactly what the SAFER grants are for. So they can comply with staffing responses and operational standards. Now, our town has been getting state SAFER grants. So why is this a response accepted? That they're not allowed to ignore 911 calls? If this is the kind of leadership, this is the kind of cronyism that is acceptable, I don't accept it, and neither should you as a resident. This is unacceptable. Even through State Department of Homeland Security standards, this is unacceptable, especially when they're getting SAFER grants to help them. And this is what they get. Oh, the residents deserve better. Here's a real good one. Here you go. Last time there was water damage at City Hall. Oh, this is not the first time. See, people, I spoke about this in an earlier video about the busted water lines, but the last time that they reported SA was supposedly damaged and lost with no way to retrieve it. So, yes, they conveniently have multiple accidents a year where lots of things get damaged or lost. This is why I advocate and educate our residents, because they deserve to know better. Now, here's the thing. This is one of the cronies who obviously don't like the fact that I'm calling out their falsehoods and their faulty behaviors and their ignorance within our community. Somebody's got to, because if they don't hold themselves accountable, who's going to? But I want you to pause this and I want you to think about this for a moment. I didn't know we weren't allowed to ignore 911 calls. I'm glad I get to learn from you about our job. Tell me more. Well, you know, it's a funny thing because I'm able to research in Google just like anybody else, and I know family members who are EMS and fire department. I work around paramedics. I do a lot of different things in my life, and I enjoy it. And if they think that I don't know how to find these things, there's a reason I know how to find these things. But remember, this is what our community deals with. Is this acceptable? That they weren't allowed to ignore 911 calls? When you're getting these, you're not allowed to ignore calls. Like I said, this is so they can comply, meaning to be at the National Fire Protection Association Code and Standards. For they can comply with staffing, response, and operational standards. But that's not happening if they're ignoring or if they're getting an excuse of, well, I didn't know we couldn't ignore them. Funny. You don't have a choice. You're a public servant, not the mayor's servant, not his personal little hand-me-downs. You are the public servants. And if you don't like to serve the public, get out of your position and leave it to somebody who wants to serve the community safely and proudly. But again, we have a crony who's apparently somewhat bothered by the fact that I'm educating the community in the areas in which the community needs to know and they deserve. So, I want you to think about some of these things. That's what cronyism is, and they will lie and they will protect and make excuses such as that right there as an acceptable behavior. And as you see, this right here, obviously we have an awful lot of problems at our city hall with losing paperwork and water damage. But again, they always love this stupid stuff that comes out of my mouth. But I am the Lake Station Community Advocate, and I am the educator here. And I do want to advocate for better. And as you see, I'm trying to help the residents understand what's really going on in their community, because honestly, this stuff needs to stop. And the reason it needs to stop is because there are people's lives in danger. There are things that are going on that the residents don't know. And now you have their cronies and their little hecklers think that they're going to heckle me, and oh, you have another thing coming. But, so if you see these people online, just know that they're being held accountable and it bothers them. So Lake Station, we need to do better. We need to vote better. We need to remove this leadership, because guess what? They're not doing their job and they're not doing it safely. And then the other thing is well, be the change you want to be the change you want to see for now, for the long haul, for yourself, for your neighbors, and for your community, because you never know what you can achieve and what you can change for now in the long haul. Till next time, people.